All right. We got a decent crew, 10, 15. What do we got? This is a new time slot for us, so I have no idea how many people asked for this time slot. And there's another one at 5. Chat, let me know how many people we got. I can't really see or scroll the window right now. I'll start when we have well, depending. Again, I have no idea how many people are going to show up. It was pretty busy the first one. We got 20. Okay, that's great. Hmm. Still people coming in. I hear the dings. Come on in, everyone. Water's warm. All right. How many of you were here for the first stream? Anybody here that was here for the first stream? Cyanide was. Cyanide, I saw your massive perf issues. I think they were server side, but it was seemed worse for you than anyone else. I don't know where you're located, but our data center is in New York. Cyanide. All right, we might as well get started. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to a very special Chief Chat. We are doing 3 today, and we did 1 at 11, and we're doing 1 right now by request for Europe mainly, and we are doing 1 at 5 p.m. For anyone who missed the first 2 streams. So there's a couple of ground rules here. We keep chat to about the game. If you have and you're welcome to join us, by the way. And if you have a bug or if you have a feedback on the game, there are Discord channels to post that. Please don't post it in local. I like to keep local open for people. You are welcome to join us. You can download the build. The build is live now, and you can hop in. I see that we've already got 4 of us in here, maybe 5. No, back to 4. Someone crashed. And I want to say it's been a very long time, and welcome back to Chief Chat. I appreciate all of your guys' patience and all of your guys sticking through it. And I realize it's been a long time, but we are back now, and we are revitalized. We had an extremely good regular morning Chief Chat. A lot of people were very jazzed and to see that we were making progress on the game. And so let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? So there's a couple changes here. The first thing that's probably most immediately noticeable is that we are now in nighttime mode. So we are in nighttime mode. It's still the Copa map, but we've been playing around with a couple of new features in Unreal. This is lumen lighting running mega lights because we have so many lights that we wanted to add to drop ships, to thumpers, and everything else. We wanted to test that feature. Mega lights is a feature of Unreal that lets you add hundreds and hundreds of lights to a scene without impacting performance. So you can see in my upper left, I'm running 120 right now. I'm at 4K resolution, by the way. And I want to introduce you to a couple of just quality of life commands that you can use right now. If I hit the F3 key, I can turn off the FPS counter, or I could turn it back on. If I hit the F4 key, it will hide all the UI. So if you want to take screenshots and things like that, you can. And if I hit, and I'm bringing back the F4 key, if I hit F5, you notice that it will hide chat. And chat's been a little temperamental, so let's see if it works. Can you guys see my chat? And we were having another really strange bug where you can't stream it on a call. Good, chat is working. Hi, Tiglia. So chat is working, but sometimes some of you might have trouble capturing video from the build or streaming it on a call. It works in a Discord server, but I personally had issues with NVIDIA Play or OBS trying to capture, and your mileage may vary. We're looking into that. So the big goal of this was to really show you that we are making some progress here. We've gotten rid of all the white box art. There's no more cubes, no more tofu cubes. You're going to see swarmers in a little bit here. And we have the art refresh in for some of the key pieces. So the Tsihu here are fully art refreshed. He doesn't get pissed until I fire at him. And this is a brand new AI tree that we're still fleshing out for them. They ragdoll properly now. They used to just disappear on you. And you can see that if I switch to plasma cannon, oh, sorry, that we have no white box models anymore. We still have placeholder art. In terms of this plasma cannon is not an asset we generated, but it will be soon when we go to our goal of doing the M3 deliverables, which we hope to accomplish here within 3 to 6 builds, because we're picking up the pace of builds. This year in 2025, we are planning a minimum of 10 to 15 builds of the game. And everything that we promised in Indiegogo that was shippable for Indiegogo, remember some of that was for later game, is going to be done in the next 3 to 6 builds in some form or the other. So we have to do a couple of things for that. We have the Thumper encounter. Right now it's tuned too easy. This is a Rift encounter, not the Thumper, by the way. And we will be having a refined Thumper encounter with shape shifting. Remember we said we were going to have some of these guys shape shift into beast modes? We will be having that. And we will also be having like the little mini boss encounter at the end. Aside from that, there's not too much more to the M3 goal. There is the modular weapon system, which is not a player modular weapon system. I want to clear that up. It was clearly stated in Indiegogo and in our M3 milestone that this is an art production tool. So in our engine, we will be, when the designers and myself go in to make weapons, we can do it from modular parts. So that's going to go in. And when that goes in, this plasma cannon goes away and will be replaced with the final art. But yep, the Tsihu art is finalized. We finally got them in there. And I have to say that I'm very happy where they turned out. I textured them myself. I learned a lot. I haven't been idle for a while. I have been learning new skills in order to help out here with stuff. During this time, we really didn't take any backing for 14 months. And that is a long time because I wanted to be sure that we could be back on track to deliver consistent milestones, and a lot of them, before we ever turn them back on. But I'm so happy with the team and the way things have come together that we have actually turned back on backer packs, and you can now get newcomer packs again, and you can now upgrade. And as a special perk, if you upgrade a pack or buy a pack, you get what we call the Sentinel Bot abilities skin. What that means is there's going to be an ability here that we are adding, which is a shoulder-mounted drone that acts as a point defense system. So good against keeping swarmers off your back and that type of thing. And to top it off, packs are 25% off. And this drone is not just going to be a JPEG. You will actually have it next build. So the next build is scheduled for 3 or 4 weeks from now, and you will actually be able to use this new drone perk. And the new drone perk will be available for 30 days. And basically, the sale, the 25% sale off, is going to last for 7 days. And it's our way of saying we're back, and that we need frankly we need your support. 14 months is a long time to go with just me paying out of pocket for some of the expenses. I even put Twitter money to it, keeping the servers up. Our expenses, fixed expenses for just the servers and software subscriptions and everything else alone, amounts to several thousand, like 1,500, maybe up to 2 grand in some cases. We run a lot of servers for one thing. But that's another thing. I'd like to announce that we have a new server partner, and that is why the website was down for so long, is that we are now partnered with Rumble, Rumble Cloud. Rumble Cloud wants to get into gaming, and I know the CEO, and he's been trying to get me to switch over for a while, and the cost was frankly about um, I would say about 25% to 30% cheaper than Amazon, which is what we were on. And I wanted to make sure we were saving that money and had the funds available to put towards other purposes like the game. There you see some swarmers during this encounter. The knee biters are new. They are final art as well. And they have a unique code feature called animation sharing. We have new developers joining the team. Neo is a new member of the development team, and he worked on these swarmers in particular, but did just a tremendous amount of work along with everybody else. We're talking, we've been working 10, 12-hour days for 3 weeks. You've seen us in chat. And he has done an excellent job setting up what's called animation sharing on the swarmers. Animation sharing allows us to get a lot of these guys on screen. Now you see my FPS drop here. It's not because of these guys. These guys have very little FPS drop. You're seeing the old animation system that we're using for the Tsihu themselves. So whenever Tsihu spawn in, they bring the frame rate down. But we're switching over to animation sharing for them as well. So you'll see a massive improvement there. Remember that we have a lot of animation networks that are old and out of date. The Thumper is also an old animation system that was third party, and the players themselves use an outdated animation system called ALS. Both of those are causing not just... Oh, here's the Thumper pickup. It's pretty cool. So you can see that we're also using volumetric fog, megalights, and lumen lighting in Unreal. And so far, we're pretty happy with the frame rate. You will see some hiccups when you see characters animate, but that's really server-side lag. And if you see a character glitch out or anything like that, that's what you're really looking at. And let's see, what else we got in this build? So you can see that we've replaced every single white box. There's not a single white box, no more tofu cubes, nothing like that. Final art refresh for Tsihu done. Final art refresh for the knee biters done. And more coming. We're going to redo the Omni frame as well. I'm going to be doing that myself to fit the new style. Also because when I made the first Omni frame, I didn't know what I was doing very much. I'm a much better 3D modeler now. And I want to thank the team because everyone's been working very hard on a volunteer basis because we haven't taken any funding in 14 months. And I'll be forthcoming with you guys. That we could use your support. We could use the support. I know a lot of people canceled subscriptions when we stopped doing skins. So we put the skins back, and we have 4 months of skins when the website was down. If you were to resubscribe today, you will get those 4 skins in a push here this week. So anybody who subscribes today, you're not going to miss out on the skins that were from for the past 4 skins. They will be in your inventory. And if you buy a pack and you upgrade a pack, that drone will be in your inventory as an item, and it will be in game in 3 to 4 weeks, and you can actually use it. Now, that way that works is that everybody has that ability, the shoulder drone sentinel ability, but not everyone's going to have the same models. So if you have the standard ability and you don't have a pack, then you will have the standard model. But if you purchase a pack in the next 30 days and you upgrade any pack, you will get that shoulder-mounted point defense system that you can use against swarms. So you guys know that it's been pretty rocky, and there's there's no talking around that. I've had a lot of health issues with my family. That's in the past. We've had a lot of challenges with not taking many backer money for a while, so I've been paying out of pocket for that. But we are back. The whole team came back to make this build. So we have not just Neo, who's new to the team. We've got Ben helping out on Auth. We have M, who's been doing a tremendous amount of work on getting the website ported to our new partners and working on the retheme too. The retheme's going to come out here pretty soon. I don't have an estimate yet, but we'll talk a little bit more about what that retheme's going to be about. So we removed a lot of bugs. We improved performance. We're working on server side performance still. And the way you can tell that it's a server issue is if you see the animations, like when they're walking, if they start to rubber band or if they start to transition in a glitchy way. It's pretty good right now. I'm not seeing the glitching. But if you start to see that, that's a server side issue. That's not a client side issue. All right. Let me switch weapons here. Take a missile stack. And we have rift encounters. And I'm going to call down the thumpers. So let's see. So remember, it's C, S for scan. The radar will ping you some nodes. You can head towards it. And you will see a marker. And that means you can hit T for thumper on the call down menu. And get one of the thumpers. You notice we added volumetric spotlights to him. Maybe a little too many. And he's no longer skating. He patrols. And that's going to trigger these encounter waves. And you notice we have a lot more enemies now. And of course, the goal is to defend the thumper while picking up as many resources as you can. We're going to improve the resource collection as well. So our goal is to... That's server lag. When you see that, that's server lag. And the server lag is being caused a little bit by these guys, not so much the swarmers, and by players. Because we're still animating players on the server, and we need to simplify that or find a solution for that. So the more players we get in here, and looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 players in here. That's going to cause some server issues, and we're always working on that. We did one performance pass last week, and we're doing another one in the upcoming weeks as we get ready for the next build. Checking out chat. Do old pack people get the new model, or you have to upgrade? It's good to hear that the family is rehealthified. It's really our incentive. Look, I'll be very transparent. We're offering the drone, and this is only going out to existing subscribers or backers to encourage subscribers to buy a pack, or to encourage existing people to upgrade or buy a pack. And you get the regular founder drone, which is a special model for the ability for the Sentinel bot, for any upgrade or pack purchase. And if you upgrade to Archliege, or if you are an Archliege or Kaiju Slayer, you automatically get the Chroma version of that. And we will have Chroma implemented for that pet next build. So the next time you play it, Archlieges can show off their Chroma effects for the first time, and everyone else with a founder pet can show off their unique model, and then the regular ability guys can still use the ability, but it'll be that. That's probably the closest we're getting to a Firefall Engineer ability in the current build. So for those of you who liked Engineer, it's not a turret, but it is in that similar vein. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, the encounter is tuned to be very easy. Hit points are low. The Thumper has a lot of hit points. And these guys are easily taken out by, you can see, plasma bursts and things like that. If we weren't killing them, there'd be a lot more on screen, but we have to switch over the Tsihu to the new animation system before we do that. Otherwise, they'll tank the frame rate like they are right now. We're very happy with the Swarmers. The Swarmers, they render very efficiently. They run on server efficiently. So that's been going very well. And we want to take that technology and move it over. So we added lights to the Omni frame as well, and there's also subtle lighting on the weapon systems. So even if I go into like a pocket of shadow, let me see if I can find a shadow. You'll see they have just enough light to sort of like still be visible and not be completely pitch black, including the Omni frame itself. So we did a lot of work on the lighting in this level. There will be a new level. So for M3 to be complete, I want to get the icy volcanic original terrain that we envisioned in here. And we're also going to be moving to what's called nanite terrain, which isn't what we had before. What we had in the nanite test before was meshes, nanite meshes that were layered onto the terrain. And that's just a pain in the ass to do for large open worlds and isn't as performant as nanite terrain, which allows us to use textures like this, but they get tessellated in real time by nanite. And so you can get a lot more detail without the performance hit of using those meshes. Yeah, their ragdolls improved. Their body positions and stuff are much better than they used to be. And everyone still loves the movement. Movement's the best part of the game so far. I think once we up the difficulty of the Thumper encounter, you're going to see that they're actually more fun to fight. Because right now it's just too easy to pick off these storms. Let me try to show you how these guys here. They leap, they have claw and bite attacks, and eventually they also have leap and attach animations. So we wanted to get them to be attaching themselves to the Thumper, and they also have an animation attack that is in there, but we didn't hook up, which is a beam attack, where they will actually at range they will park and then they will open up their mouths and a huge beam will come out of their mouth to target the Thumper. One other thing I mean, so when I posted screenshots of this to X this morning, the response was tremendous. People didn't even know that we had a demo, and if they did, they were concerned about the white boxes and things like that. But we've removed all that. I was watching the old Firefall Thumper encounter, and just this morning I posted it to Discord chat. And one thing that struck me is that they have a lot less enemies in general than we have. But they came sort of in look at that. They came in denser waves. I think that one's a crater. Now the spawners don't have sound effects yet, but they will. The Tsihu have some sound effects. And that's another thing that we polishing up. So, folks, that's the goal. It's like we promised stuff for M3, for Indiegogo, and we want to get it in there right away. We want to get it in there in 3 to 6 milestones. But to do that, we really need your help because we want to keep this momentum, but we have to polish some of the art, like the beast that you saw in the art demo and the mini kaiju in the art demo. Those need to be gone over once again. And we're not throwing anything out, right? We don't throw anything out. Like, all we do is we rework what we have. If you look at the Tsihu we have now, they're not completely new models. We took the original models and we tweaked them and we polished them from there. And that's really all that it takes. But all of this stuff, does cost, and we have some fantastic artists on tap. I mean, we've got people. I mean, the spawners were made by someone who did Monster Hunter monsters, and the Sihu were done by both Toshi, who's an excellent artist in his own right, as well as gone over by a Namco Bandai artist who, if you've ever played Smash Brothers, worked on that. So we have people on tap that are very good at what they do. But honestly, we can't do it without your help. And that's why I've never shilled or asked for anything for the game in over 14 months. I never advertised on social media. I've never asked for subscriptions. But we really could use the help. Now that we've picked up momentum here, I mean, people have been volunteering their time to get to this point. We've been working very hard. But to get past here and to get into the new milestones and to get going again, because we did take on some debt to do the art refresh that we're paying off now. It's almost all paid off now. We need your help. So, I'm asking now, if you like what you see and you like the progress we're making in this build, please come back as a subscriber. Come back as a subscriber. That handles a lot of the regular daily sort of costs that we have. And if you can, and I know times are tough, so I'm not expecting it, upgrade your pack. Upgrade your pack. And if you don't want to upgrade your pack, you don't have a pack, or if you're an Arc Leech that wants to contribute, because I do get this question a lot, buy an extra pack. You can always gift them. You can upgrade them later. And that will go a long way towards this cadence that we're doing. So how are the milestones going to work? Well, after we finish the M3 milestone, you're going to see a focus on smaller, tighter milestones. So instead of like big, ambitious goals, we're going to break it up into smaller funding milestone campaigns. And you're going to see that reflected in the new theme on the website. And you will see exactly, what we're doing, what we think the costs will be, the additional costs will be, and then you can track it on the website itself. And not only that, you guys will be able to vote on certain milestone features. Now we have things that we need to do. It's called the critical path in order to get any game finished, right? But on top of that, we can add like a couple of options where you guys would like to see a different weapon type, and you guys get to vote on what weapon type that milestone will have, and those votes will be weighted by what packs you have. So if you have if you have a higher pack, your vote will count a little bit more than if you have a lower pack, that type of thing. And also for subscribers, we're probably going to move to a multi-tier subscription system. So you'll still have this $7.95 pack, but there'll probably be, a level or two above it. And those will also change the votes. All right, you can see that whenever these guys come on, we hit a little bit of that server lag. We got to get those guys more performant. But the spawners are behaving pretty good right now, harassing it, and I really want to see them jump and attach. I think that'd be good. I don't know if there's a way to run this on Steam Deck, Blue Founder. Leandri asks for clarification: does purchasing a pack to gift to someone still count? Yes, if you purchase a pack, you get the drone. But you can still gift the pack, but that doesn't transfer the drone. The drone stays with you. That's your gift and our thank you for supporting us. I can't wait till we get these guys switched over to the new animation system and the new AI, because they're the only things that are really holding us back. That and the players. Yeah, we had like 4 different animation systems in here, and if you remember, part of the rework we were doing was switching over to our own custom animation solution, which the Swarmers use, which is working a lot better. So yeah, milestone 3 will be 3 to 6 builds from now. Assuming that we get your help, because we need your help to get there. But even then, we'll keep going. We're going to keep this cadence up. And the way the cadence works is, if you've ever heard of Intel's strategy where they do a TikTok update, do you guys know what that is? Intel does a product cycle where basically they have major updates and minor updates, and they call it tick-tock, like of a clock, right? And so what you're going to see from us is every build that has a major feature gets followed with one that has a minor. Yeah, I don't know why these guys are acting up so much. But I have to admit that we're aiming for some pretty major ones in the next few. So it might be more talk, talk, talk than TikTok. Checking chat here. I don't think there's controller support yet. You'll notice that our input mapping system is changing because Unreal changed their input mapping system. What do you guys think of the nighttime? No, not TikTok the app. TikTok the clock. The rifts are a lot less annoying now. They don't do damage, so you can go close to them. So yeah, everyone is super pumped on the team. We've picked up so much momentum. The first stream, really a lot of excitement. We've got players back in the game. And this just feels good. I mean, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to see old faces return. I've seen so many people come back that I haven't seen in so long to check us out, and I'm really appreciative of just the incredible faith that this community has, and the fact that they're willing to come back, check it out, and play with us is tremendous. And including all of the dev team, like all of us have had a really tiring but good time getting this ready for you, and we are looking forward to doing much more. And it's going to feel really good to have that M3 milestone wrapped up. And then we have a decision to make. Because remember, M3 is the playable mock-up. And the decision is, with today's atmosphere in Kickstarter, do we go for a Kickstarter and try to get the additional buzz from that? Or do we go for and continue our micro milestone basis, right? Where we divide it up into much smaller goals that we know you can, so that you can track it and you can see our progress on a much more frequent basis than what we've had in the past. What we had in the past did not work. I'll be the first to admit that. That's why we're going to this all new system, and you will see those milestones on the website. But we will have to make that decision. Is this the demo to go to Kickstarter with, or should we do more milestones and then do a Kickstarter, or should we just go milestone all the way? And that all depends on you guys and the new backers that come in. Right now, we're not taking any new backers. This is only for you guys. Anyone who's had a prior existing sub, anyone who has a current sub, anyone who has been a backer of one of the milestones before, one of the backer packs. This is who has access right now. We haven't opened it up. We're not taking new signups because we want to work out some of these bugs first, work out some of the perf, and get the new map in and a couple of other changes. And we want to start delivering. And so it's just for you guys, because I want to take care of the backers first. I want to make you guys not 100% happy. I want to make you guys 200% happy. And I know that that's the road that we need to take. And it's going to take a little bit of time to do that. But one of the things we're doing that hopefully will boost confidence is a lot of our backer rewards were at launch of game, right? Like if you read the descriptions, they all say when the game launches. Well, we're going to do what we can to actually put those backer rewards into the game this year over time. So where we can, the low-hanging fruit, we want to put back into that. And what is the low-hanging fruit? Things like banners on the OmniFrame, right? Remember, there were banners that you could get and put on your OmniFrame if you back certain stuff. The other example is, of course, the Drone Sentinel, which is shipping in 3 to 4 weeks, which you can purchase now by buying a pack or upgrading. That will actually not just be a JPEG, you will get it in the game. We're looking for more stuff like that that we can start fulfilling goals early rather than waiting all the way till launch. Now, we're not going to do all of them. Some don't make sense, and some would be so much work that it would detract from the core gameplay, right? Because we have some gameplay tuning to do here. Everyone's dying too easily. There's not a lot of risk reward right now. Remember that the thumper is supposed to be harder the more you go, and it's supposed to force you to make a decision if you're going to cut bait. Oh, let me see. Or if you're going to try to ride it out to extract the most valuable resources at the end. The other thing is, yes, kind of like Jira Access, we're going to give you away, a commercial site where you can file bugs in a better way than just posting them to Discord or the forum, so we can track them and we can hunt down the issues that are affecting you. We have a pretty good idea of what they are now, but we definitely want to hear from you guys, especially if you have what's called reproducible steps, right? I just love that takeoff. That's one of my favorite things. So, looking, I'm going to go over chat here, see what you guys are saying. Blue Founder says, I vote micro updates. You guys promised us the inside baseball of video game development. That's right. We wanted to show you the builds as they were made, even if they had warts and all. I mean, obviously this build isn't perfect. We could have held it back another week, but we wanted to show you what we were building, and so you could see the inside baseball, what's happening, and micro milestones would let us do that by having goals that we set out and we individually fund with packs and things like that. And you guys fund the milestone and you vote on, some of the features that are going to be in there, and we go from there. I don't think that's server lag, because I think that's whenever the thumper is out, their AI is acting up. I actually think that this particular issue is not server lag. Because when they're in the rift, there's just as many of them, and they're not wigging out like that. Oh, there goes a swarmer. Swarmers are fast. He's already there. Another thing that we're adding is, I already talked about this. We're adding a, did I talk about this? I'm getting the streams confused. A photo mode. That's one thing we need, because we need to be able to take marketing screenshots, and there's no good way to do that right now. We want to be able to pause and eject from the frame and be able to move around and then activate a cinematic camera. So that's one thing you're going to see in the next build too, hopefully, is that we get that cinematic camera in there, and you're able to take some great screenshots so you can share them with people too. Take a sip here. And that'll be great when we get the waifus in there. So one of the things that M3 milestone is supposed to have is completed male and female pilots. And in order to do that, they're pretty good right now, but let's face it, the standards have changed. And if you look at First Descendant or Stellar Blade, I mean, those are some incredible models, and we're not going to go quite fully that way. But we do need new hair, and we do need new makeup on them and new skin texture, just to make them look a little better. And we need new bones. We need new bones because things like, butt jiggle, thigh jiggle, all these sort of like animation subtleties are becoming very popular. And I told you guys, I mentioned this years ago. I said waifus are going to be big for games, especially if you put waifus with mechs together. It's going to be like catnip. And that definitely happened for games like Mecha Break. Mecha Break combined waifus with mecha, and it did very well. Not just because of that, obviously, but anime's gotten very popular, and so this is something that's important to a lot of gamers and can generate a lot of interest. And it did for us initially, but now we actually have. I want to up the quality of what we have in there. So again, that's really up to you guys. Could really use your help on that. Um, I got, hair is very difficult. We can't just buy it from the marketplace and slap it on and get good results. So I talked to a few people who are willing to help out, but these are outsourcing companies that specialize in this sort of thing. And to give you an idea of the expenses, just to retexture the model is going to be like 1,000, 1,500 bucks to get makeup and better textures on it. The model itself is excellent. We did a good job with that. And to get hair, it literally can cost 3 grand and up for the initial system. Once you have the initial system, additional hairs, don't cost quite that much. But there are significant costs to game development. But I think we're doing pretty good because I negotiate a lot. We have lots of friends in the industry willing to help out at discounted rates, um, because they believe in what we do. And but even then, it can get expensive. But to give you an idea, that's so much cheaper than the way AAA runs or even some AA. If you look at the cost of the arsenal in Firefall, that took 10 people and $250,000 to do. Okay, if you compute the time. Oh, these guys are stuck on a nav mesh. See, that's another bug we got to fix before we. Oh no, they're dead. Someone killed them. And so tools have gotten better, and I'm always looking at ways to control costs to get the best deal. But we're gonna need your help to get there, and that's why I'm really encouraging you guys to come back, especially subscriptions. I know economy is really tough right now, but a 7.95 subscription gets you 4 skins right off the bat, and would really help us out with just the daily server and other expenses that we have in order to keep everything running here. And on top of that, to help us with the M3 last art polishes, which is the mini boss, kaiju, and these guys shape shifting, that I have to contract out to additional artists. Now I can, and we also have a great animator, and who I've worked with before, and now I can animate as well. I've picked up a lot of animation skills. Been doing a lot of practicing last 12 months or so, and I'll be able to do a sort of like the beef and potato animations, the ones that are just like pushing a button, that type of thing, very easy stuff. So we don't have to have increased costs for that, because I do those for free. Same thing with texturing. I can texture now, but as far as organic modeling, that like tuning up the mini boss and stuff, that's something that I'd like to go to, like I said, one of either Toshi or the guy who's done work for Monster Hunter. It'd be great to have one of them do it. I haven't been doing much gliding this demo, I noticed. Character creator, that's after M3. Our focus is whatever we promised for M3, that's what we want to deliver first. And everything else is sort of like a nice to have later on thing. I think character creator is important. People want sliders, and especially boob sliders these days. And that's something that we said we were always going to add. So that would be a potential future milestone that we could do. All right, I'm going to open it up to chat now. Normally, I've been keeping these sessions to save my voice because we've been doing them all day today to about an hour, but I'm not going to bail on you guys early or anything. So I just want to see chat's reaction here. How are you guys feeling so far? Let me know. Everything we've been talking about, everything we've been showing so far. Cyanide says one of the main reasons I played APB was the character creator. One of the main things I hate about Firefall was the lack of character creator. I agree. It'd be nice to have that. Tyrion Dust says it's nice to have you back. Thank you. It's good to be back. We are all tremendously excited. Gigabear says Rumble equals base choice. Absolutely. They're not going to cancel us for anything. for a boob slider or anything like that. And the costs are lower. We save 25 to 30%, and they're fixed. Amazon, we never know. It's like one day we get a bill for $670, and the next time it's 450, and you have no idea why. The charges are so gamified that you can't tell what's going on. With Rumble, it's one fixed fee. You know what you're getting, and it's consistent month to month. And for low budget games like ours, that makes a huge difference in projecting cash flow. Blue Founder says, trying to see if the new demo works on my deck. Wow. I'd be curious too. Let me know about that. You might have to turn some settings down, obviously, but I'd be very curious if it ran on a Steam Deck. Obviously, the control inputs are not there yet. Remember, Unreal 5, we're on 5.5 right now. We're on the latest version. Has a different control layer input that's much more console friendly, and we're going to be porting over to that. There's a lot of background stuff that has to happen that isn't just model changes or anything like that. Like we have to work on multi-threaded server-side perception systems, all this sort of stuff that most single-player games don't have to worry about. We have to sort of create from scratch on the back end here. Zab says, if you don't go Kickstarter, will you begin giving backers the ability to earn permanent resources for the future game prior to release? I'm not sure what you mean by permanent resources. Do you mean gathering and being able to hold on to what you gather for resources? Because that didn't work out so well during Firefall beta, and we had to reset people because of the economy and the economic changes. Yeah, we would have to do a character wipe. I don't think there's any way that we would do that. And of course, we're not exactly an MMO, right? We've talked about this a lot, that we've never had a good way to describe what type of game we are. Probably until Helldivers came out. Now that Helldivers came out, people kind of understand what a massive intergalactic war feels like, where you have kind of like in this case, they had a human game master that was controlling the sectors, and honestly, it was kind of limited. But that sort of overarching metagame is, what Ember is about. It's about pushing the Tsihu back, about building bases. Oh, that's the other thing, is we're going to do another round of base concept art for the human bases. That's another M3 deliverable. We already have it, so technically we delivered it. Am I happy with it yet? No. I think it could use another round, especially in our style, now that we have, we've sort of been settling in on this new style that we've been concepting for a while and implementing in the art refresh. Let's see. Taramuk says, hybrid mini MMO. I guess so, right? Because we have instance maps, and I think I'm going to do it. After playing Helldivers, I was like, it would be cool if there were like... Because we're supposed to do up to... Now with this, we were very careful with this. We said, if we can get the technology to do it, we want to try to get 100 people into a zone. But now I'm thinking, it's like, maybe some are 100, but some maps are 4-player. And some maps are tuned for 20 players. And I want to try to switch over to procedurally generated maps so that the game always feels fresh when you play it. So you'll have your big world map, and trouble spots will open up over that map. And when you go there, that level is randomly generated, so you have a fresh experience each time. So is that an MMO? I don't know. I think the definition gets pretty fuzzy now. Guns and Glue says, loving the direction. I would appreciate it if you keep updates regular, like Satisfactory or Star Citizen for videos, seeing what's going on regular, whether it's commiserating or laughing at bugs or celebrating success. We're a small team, but if I can find a volunteer editor, then that would be great, because I love video marketing. Obviously, we don't have the budget to do it like how Satisfactory does it. That's a very successful game. But I think that would be a very smart move to make. So if we can get some help on that, if we find a really good editor, that type of thing, someone we can trust to understand the game, not just make videos and not understand any part of what they're doing, That's hard to find. You can find video editors. Can you find video editors who are gamers, and then video editors who are gamers who are also into your game? That's a interesting intersection to discover. Sylvang says, so you want the game to play a bit more like Helldivers 2 than Firefall? No. Think Firefall, even Firefall had instanced missions, right? So think about a world map and think about home being open. So, for a shard, all the players are in there, but that's the only really core hub that's open. And then you have other zones which are also open up to 100 players, hopefully, right? Technology dependent. And then you have sort of these randomly generated instance missions that you can go on. So it's kind of like a hybrid. But Firefall had this in a way too, because you could go into instance missions. Let's see. Gigabear says, wouldn't 4 to 5 player instant maps work great for the Tsihu homeworld kaiju hunts? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So remember melding tornadoes where you could go into the melding tornado? Imagine that, but you're being taken into a 4 to 5 person instance map mission, which tornadoes were kind of were, and you're going to the Tsihu side of things to hunt for rare resources on their world or rare kaiju on their world. Tyrion Dust says no traveling around the planet. No, we never said it would be a seamless world, right? That's beyond our budget right now. We would need a lot more. We would need a AAA budget in order to do a fully seamless planetary world. So it was never going to be like that, unfortunately. But we want to give the illusion of it, right? We said that by taking the drop ships, that can be the loading screen, sort of like how it is in Warframe or Destiny. And you would travel around the world that way. But we're talking way in the future. I'm really concentrated on just delivering everything we promised for M3. Let's see. Okay, Smooth says, okay, a world map with lots of people, then tuned areas for solo group content. That sounds okay. Yeah, and it could even be by frame type. Like this mission is against bigger kaiju and requires heavy omni frames, right? So everyone has got to bring their heavy omni frame into this, I don't know, 4 to 16 player map in order to take it on, right? That could happen too, potentially. Sai says the hotspots idea was really picked up with all kinds of games after them. Yeah, Embers would be more various and not in a fixed location. Yeah, and our meta battle is going to be much more deep and meaningful than Helldivers because we want AI driving the war against the humans and we want the gain and loss of territory to mean something. So I think that that's going to be much more interesting than the Helldivers approach, which was really great, but it wasn't their huge main focus. Gigabear says Star Citizen does have a seamless meaning a seamless world, but they also had a 700 million budget in funding. That is correct. See, the Rift guys don't do the janky animation. That's why I think it's not a server thing. You're making friends up there? Let me say hi to them for you. Salty Bleach, been a while. Good to see you. Yeah, I think it's something going on with their aggro or something else. When these guys appear in the Thumper encounter, they move janky, and I don't think it's server anymore. It's something else. It's so good to be back, guys. Can I just take a breather from talking about the game and just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know we owe you guys a lot, and I have to say the most enjoyable crunch I've ever had is just the past week and the other 2 weeks prior getting this ready for you guys because I was so happy to be doing this. And I wanted so badly just to get something in your guys' hands again to play and to tell you about how we're going to fix it for the future, how we're going to do these micro milestones after we deliver the M3 one. And and how I think we can achieve all this going forward with 10, 15 builds this year. That's a lot of progress that we're projecting and a pace. But we can't do that pace without your support. And I'm not going to be shy, man. Now is the time. I have been paying out of pocket. It has not been easy. And, it would be really, and we haven't sold any packs. We took them off the market. I've never asked for subscriptions. I've never sent out an email for that. I've never posted on social media to subscribe to the game or to buy a backer pack. I'd like to. We have a huge audience out there, and obviously, it's very divisive, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm a very controversial figure, but you have no idea how many people are rooting for us to win. There are hundreds of thousands of people on social media that want Ember to succeed. So basically, they can score a victory. They can put a feather in the cap and say, "See, this is this is what we need to get back to for game development. We need to ditch all this political stuff and see it can be done. And we don't have to have these massive AAA bloated budgets just to have some fun in a game." And now that, game prices are going up, switch to announcing $80, $90 games. Uh, you know, um, GTA 6 saying they want to charge $100 a copy. I think people want to see alternatives, and the rise of what we call AA games has really been something to behold. They have dominated the charts. It turns out if you don't have to spend a lot of money on graphics. If you just focus on an experience that's fun and that players want, then you can achieve much more success than the AAA guys spending $600 million in order to create a movie game, basically, or to sit there and have story that preaches at you in ways you don't like. I don't like to talk about politics in chat here, and in fact, no politics in chat, please. But I just want to point out that so many people want this game to be a success. My inbox was full today on social media after I posted the screenshots saying, "Way to go." Other gaming CEOs messaging me also saying that they want us to succeed. And so if we continue this pace of development here, and we no more temporary graphics, I mean, yeah, we will use a marketplace placeholder here and there, but no more white boxes, and we show stuff that's good looking that you can share on social media. That is going to be immense. And the fact is that the haters can't stop talking about this game, and so every time I post stuff, the stuff goes almost viral. So we're probably one of the best known indie games out there, and people are watching us, and people are very interested. I've had people messaging me today saying, "I just want to back your game," and I have to tell them, we're not even taking new signups. We're not taking new signups. We're not taking new backers. We want to get a little farther along first before we do that. But they're out there, they're waiting, and they're ready, and they want to help out. So we are not alone, and there's a lot of interest in here and a lot of visibility. And so there's pressure on us as a dev team, particularly, but we welcome that pressure. I think that's why we're here today, is because of that pressure. And and instead of just delivering a micro update, we wanted to do something a little bit more than that, because we knew that this stuff gets clipped. There's people in here, and there's actual trolls. Like, we've been in a lot of pressure. I had to basically use AI to clean up the Discord, and because there was literally people that have fan bases that sent hundreds of people into our server just to sow discontent and to gripe about stuff, and to make sure that if I ever posted an update, that it would get basically Reddit downvoted, right? Any sort of positivity, they would Reddit downvote. They would try to neg as much as possible. So now that we've cleaned all that up, you can see that our Discord is just a much happier place to be, to discuss stuff. And there's even fake backers. Like, they are so deranged that they have fake backers out there claiming they backed this milestone or that milestone, and they complain and reply loudly in every thread I make about the game. And then when I message them, I say, "Hey, I'm sorry you're really upset. What can I do for you? Maybe we could talk about it. What is your Ember ID? Guess what? They don't have a member ID. They don't have an email. And then when they finally get discovered, they sent me one of the guys sent me a death threat gif and said, "Ha ha ha! What a loser! You fell for it." It's like I didn't fall for anything. I called you out and you had nothing, and you're sitting here poisoning everybody else, pretending to be a backer of the game. So, yeah, there's that. But on the other side, for everybody that's like that, we have such positive supporters, even if they're not into the game, that just want to see us win. And when we are winning. And today they were so salty when I posted the screenshots from this build because they had been lying and telling everybody there is no demo. And I was like, then what is this? And they were so upset. Like, let me tell you, they were so upset by that. So we want to keep doing that. And I know some of them are in here right now secretly recording, and they're going to try to take the worst screenshots and the jankiest moments and say, this is the game. But you guys don't have to worry about that because you're in here playing. You can all download this. You can all get in here. And please do check it out. All right. Rihanna Keeve says, I like your game and your vision grums a lot, and I'm looking forward to your release. But it really would have helped if your social media activity was a bit more mild. The activism should have come after release. That way, they'd have nothing to attack you on. Well, I agree and disagree. One is we were about to. This is politics. I felt like it was now or never. Yeah, was it the perfect time? No. But it was now or never in order to fix gaming, in order to fix our world, in order that I could still post on social media at all. And you know what? The timing wasn't perfect. I knew we were going to take a hit as soon as I did it. It wasn't like I said, "Oh, this is going to be great." It's like, no, I am making a conscious temporary sacrifice, which I believe will pay off in the long run. And I can tell you it already is. I mean, people are seeing those screenshots, and when we post more and more progress, it's just going to be a more positive feeling, and this game has going to just benefit hugely from that in the long term. But there's a little pain in the beginning, maybe a lot of pain, right? But I firmly believe that now that we're back on track and we have this momentum, that is a thing of the past, and you're going to see it start to switch to positivity like it was today. Not with the haters. The haters are always going to hate. They manufacture the hate. They actually have Discord servers where they have operations. Like our entire, imagine if our entire Discord server was designed to undermine one person in one game. That's what they have. But that also causes an opposite reaction from people. When people see that, they come and they support you. And I got a lot of support today. I got to tell you, I got a tremendous amount of support today. It was so heartwarming to see. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer to your question. Shmoo, Commander First Claimer, awesome. And Shmoo says politics is coming for gamers, whether they like it or not. Yeah, unfortunately, I would have preferred never to get into it. I just wanted to make games. But here we are. Zeb says, I just want to collect enough information to be the game's de facto lore master. I miss my forum thread. Ah, okay. Let me see what I can do about that. All your writings on there? So maybe we can recollect that. But Zeb, I am going to change the lore up a little bit. I'm redrafting the novel, is going through a redraft, and I'm changing some things up slightly. So maybe I can, share that early with you since you've been collecting the lore, and I could bounce ideas off you too. We'll see. I'd like to get more community participation by the higher backers, especially like the Archliege. If you recall that for Archliege, I had them test the website early, and then I did it in phases, and then I opened up to the next pack and the next pack, things like that. Well, when we do these subscriber tiers or we do whatever new perks, one of them might be like a Discord channel that's locked for that, and then where I have sessions sometimes on voice, and we talk about ideas for additional perks or milestone goals or that type of thing to put up for a vote to the wider community. So I'd like to get you guys more engaged in small ways like that, where it makes sense, where it's not going to lead to utter chaos and pandemonium. And I think that that would be a very good thing to do. Whew. All right. Well, we are at an hour and 10 minutes, and I can tell my voice is already going, but I'll hang out here for a couple more questions. What do you got? What's on your guys' mind? Zab says, I expected that you were changing lore. I would love to see it. If you can recover my forum, I had basically everything available in the thread along with my assumptions. Okay, I will try to do that. I think we can uh, do that and redeploy. Shmoo says I need to go start dinner. Is this time slot mainly Europe? Is this what this time slot is, or is it like where are people generally from? No, because people ask for a two p.m. slot, so I created a 2 p.m. slot. 12 a.m. in Europe. Okay, so 6 p.m. 12 days. Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys are feeling as excited as we are. Oh, are you trying? You're trying to do a tower. Sorry. I don't know if I can stand here. All right, you guys can stand on me because it'll take me forever to do a tower. It looks cool with the lights. I'll tell you that much. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys are as jazzed and excited as we are. But we really need your help. There's no other way to put it. It's like we are, uh, this took a long time coming. We endured a lot, but now we're pushing back and we have the momentum. If you were a subscriber before, please resubscribe. That really helps us out. And I know that times are tough, and so I understand if you can't. But a sub is the probably the cheapest way to support us in the short term. And if you can do a pack or upgrade a pack, please do that. They're 25% off right now. It's a huge discount. That discount runs for 7 days, and you get the Sentinel drone founder model with it that will be in the game in the next build, 3 to 4 weeks here. So please consider doing that. And for Arc Lieges, you automatically get the Chroma. If anyone upgrades to an Arc Liege, they get the Chroma as well. Arc Liege, is that S777? I got here a bit late, so I might have missed it if anyone else already asked. But the founder drones mentioned the email says it's for new purchase or upgrade reward. Does this mean that even those of us who already have a pack, including Arc Liege pack, will also have to buy something additional to get the founder drone? Arc Lieges get the Chroma drone. You get the top end drone, right? But it is basically an act of encouragement to rekindle support for the game because we had a long talk about why what we were doing, getting M3 out there, finishing the Indiegogo stuff. Um, See, it's only is it only when the thumpers are there. That really bugs me. I think it's thumpers there. Whenever the thumpers there, they wig out. Okay, we gotta look at that. The question's answered. Okay, I don't know if that satisfies you, but it's there for anyone who purchases a pack in the next 30 days, or who upgrades a pack, and it'll be in game. Okay, you recalled him. Cool. Yeah, we gotta tone down that lighting. Way too much floodlights on him right now, but it looks cool. The other thing that I'm working on is a redo of the medium Omni frame. We already have the mock-ups for that, so we'll go from there. Thanks to Heinz Snow, who's been awesome. Heinz Snow did a great job on that. There is no light toggle for the frame yet. No, there's no flashlight or anything like that. Oh, you want to get the purple? Which one was the purple Omni frame skin, Leandri? Was that a perk or was that something that was in there that Ben had? Toshi and Ben had that. Yeah. Well, when we reskin it, and we have because Ben's also working with Emily on authorization rules for the login server, so we can recognize you by your role and know what perks you have. Then we can do that too. Throw to Splushy Giga Bear. Maybe one day. All right, guys, I'm going to dip out. I need to rest my voice and get my energy for the next stream, which will be at 5 p.m. Thank you all for coming by and participating. And I look forward to more of these as we release new builds. I think I'll time the chief chats to when we have builds to stream. And like I said, everything is only for backers right now. It is closed to the outside, but it'll eventually open up over time. All right. Thank you, everyone, once again for attending. Please download the build, play the build, and if you like what you see, if you like the progress we're making, please resubscribe or create a new subscription if you've never subscribed. And please consider purchasing a pack or upgrading a pack to get your drone. And I don't know if anyone has a picture of the drone, but if they could post the picture of the drone to Discord right now, that'll give people a pretty good idea of what they're getting. And that will be in the game and ready to go on the next build. It'll recognize your role and will have a new ability, and you can use that ability. All right, everybody. Have a good time and a good rest of your day. If you're here at 5 o'clock, I will see you here at 5. All right. Take care. Peace.